Hi ladies. Okay, I'm gonna try and do a video of me styling a topper. I know a lot of you have been asking for that, and obviously I'm curling toppers, at least every other day, but it's hard to kind of get a good setup to record, is why it's taken me so long. So this is a topper that has air dried overnight. I let all my pieces air dry unless I'm like in a pinch where I really need to wash it and restyle it and be on about my way. I wash them, hang them on those little hangers that you can hang up in the shower, and let it dry overnight. And the reason that that's important is just because you can use heat on your pieces because you're really not going to be curling them that often, but you just always want to use as little as heat as possible. So I find that letting them air dry is really nice. But obviously when you let them air dry overnight, they're not going to look exactly how you want them to look. So the first thing that you would need to do, and this is especially important when you have a brand new topper, is that you place it on, so it's air dried overnight, and now I go back and I wet down definitely the front pieces and the top area so that I can part it where I want to part it. So you would want to put it on, part it where you want to part it, and then blow dry through this top area. So one question that I get asked a lot is about how I style the front or the top. So how you style it, how you blow dry it when it's wet on the top and in the front affects greatly how it's going to look on you. So if you are someone who likes a very flat top, you like it to look flat and you like it to look sleek on the top. Hold on just a second. You're going to wet down this area. So I'm going to wet down that whole part at the top, the area in the front. And especially if this is your very first topper, after you've decided that you're going to keep it, not within your 3-day return window, then you can wet down this top area and restyle it. This is super important because I get a lot of people, obviously when you get your topper and it's been in the mail, in the box, and you get it and you put it on, it's gonna have bends in the curls, or it's gonna be extra flat from being in a box. So you do really have to use a little bit of your imagination, and you have to know that you'll be able to change the part, that you're gonna be able to do different things with it, that the way that it looks straight out of the box is not what it's gonna look like after you have wet it, washed it, dried it, and styled it the way that you want to wear it. And if you're a first-time topper wearer, that's going to take you time, period, end of story. I remember my very first topper. I probably washed it, I definitely overwashed it in the beginning, no doubt about that. I washed it probably like every 2 or 3 days, or at least wet it every 2 or 3 days, reparting it, re-drying it, recurling it so I could get it the way I like to wear my hair. And unfortunately, that's just something you have to go. Everybody wears their hair different. So that's just something you have to do. You don't have to rewash it that many times, but in the beginning, it will be a little bit of a challenge. You're gonna have to determine if you need to have it custom cut and to your face, which most people do. If you want to have a topper look like the way you wear your hair, then you really need to go to a stylist and get it cut to fit your face. There are exceptions to that, and there are people who are used to wearing just long one-length hair, and sometimes I find that that's much easier on people to adjust to a topper. But if that's not what you're used to, and I was not used to that before, then it took me a while to learn how to style it the way that I wanted to. Okay, so long story short, so we wet it after we let it air dry overnight. And now if you like your part in this area to be very flat, then obviously that's the way you're gonna want to dry it. So I'm gonna wet this a little bit more. You really have to get up under there I mean, you could even be doing this after you wash it. And you will want to get that as flat as you can. And then you would blow dry it like that. I'm not doing that with this one. That's not how I style any of my toppers. I like to have a little bit of fluff on the top, and I like for it to be going away from my face. So that's not how I style them. Now also, if you've let it air dry overnight, you're probably gonna have some areas back here that are sticking up, look uneven, just like that. Just wet them down again before you style it. It's really just like your hair. If you let your hair dry overnight, air dry overnight, same thing. So then if that's what you wanted, it is so hard to see in here, then you would blow dry it flat and straight. So if that's also the way that you like to wear your hair, know that when you get a topper from me, I don't typically style them like this. I style them with the hair going away from the face for the most part. So if you like a very flat look, you're gonna need to wet it and restyle it as well. That being said, even though I style them that way, once they're in the box in the mail for a week, they can still be very flat when you receive them. So now I'm gonna blow dry this going away from my face. Okay, before I do that, oils. To me, besides people not wanting to get their toppers cut and customized to their face, one of the #1 mistakes that I see personally is people not putting enough oils onto the hair. Toppers, wigs do not get oil from your scalp. So they need oil to keep from getting too dry, period. You don't want to put too much oil, and you want to concentrate it on from the middle of the hair down to the ends, definitely the ends. But that's the #1 mistake that I see people make, is letting their toppers, their wigs get way too dry. I love the Moroccan oil, and I love the Pomifera oil. This one is extremely, extremely lightweight. I even use it on my bio hair for the ends, and gives a lot of shine. You can use this one more on a regular basis than you can the Moroccan oil. The Moroccan oil is a little bit thicker, but I use both, end of story. So we want to put a little bit of oil on this one before I run the blow dry through it and before we curl it. I had already put, I can't talk, what's it called? Heat protectant. I had already put heat protectant on this one prior to this. So, and you can find links in my bio for any kind of oil, but you can just any good oil you can use. And I'm gonna work it through the middle to the ends of the hair. Okay, so now it's dry, and I blow dried it back to direct the hair from go away from the face. Now I'm gonna curl it. But one thing that I will say is that, again, especially when it's a new topper for you, curl the topper and then maybe leave out the top front area right in here, and then style that on your head, at least the first couple of times, so that you can see where the curls are gonna lay and where the part is going and exactly how, because this is the most important part. The rest, you know, is gonna be curled. It matters what direction it's going, but not as much as around your face. So when you first get one, you've got to get used to where you want the part on your topper. So curl the rest of it, then take the topper and put it on, and make sure the part is exactly where you want it, and then curl or blow dry those pieces back how you want them. Because sometimes, like, I curl my topper and these are the waves remaining from when I curled it a week or two ago. But then the front pieces I don't necessarily always curl. Sometimes I'll just blow dry those back, if that makes sense. Okay. So sometimes I will make a pass through, like I'm straightening it, and then do the curl. And then sometimes I don't. If I want a little bit more body, then I don't go through and straighten it first. So you're gonna twist again. And then sometimes I leave an inch out on the bottom, sometimes I don't. If you leave about an inch out at the bottom, you'll get more of that beach wave type look versus a curlier look. But let me show you how not to curl it. Do not do like this, okay? You don't start at the bottom like that. Start at the top, then bend. It's gonna wrap around again. Then I'll wrap out and then go straight down. So you see the curl that it makes like that, but obviously that's not exactly how my hair looks, because after I've let these curls set and brush through them, you get more of that wavy, beachy look. So go down, back, twist the hair around, and then twist back out, and then down. So you get that. Now, depending on the density of your topper or how much volume you're looking for, you can do it in 2 layers. So you can clip up the top portion and hold that up. I don't have a clip in here with me because that's not the way I'm doing this one. You can separate it out, clip up the top portion, curl the bottom, and then go back and recurl the top if you want more wave, more curl. And then I just work my way around. On the front and the sides, I curl away from the face. And then in the back, sometimes, but not always, I will rotate, so that what happens sometimes is when you go all in the same direction, sometimes it will start clumping together after a few days. So if you break up the curl pattern and go, backwards and then the next one forwards, etc., that can help with that. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. It's just... So I go down like that, go back, wrap those pieces, and you want your pieces not to be any more than like inch and a half. And then work your way around, out. And then so you see you've got those little pieces at the bottom. So now I'm like to the center of the back. So I'm gonna rotate, and I want these to start going back away from the right side, if that makes sense. Okay, so now I'm back. I've let these curls cool and set. And at this point, sometimes I just rake through them with my fingers. Like that, but you can also brush them out. And when you brush them out, this is what it should leave you with until you curl it again. And when I style mine, I really do not even have to curl. I mean, I might curl it once again in between washes, and I don't wash my topper. It's usually every 4 to 6 weeks, something like that. And I might only re-curl it once. And when I say re-curl it, I might just pop in some curls in the top area. I really don't have to go back through. But that's because I just wear it like in this wave and not necessarily in curls. So if you brush through it, this is so hard to video and get on camera. This is why it's taking me so long to do a video. That's what you get. Just like that. And then again, on the ends, I would use just a very small amount of some kind of good oil. You rub it between your hands. Don't apply it directly after you've pumped it into your hand. And then just rake it through. Like that. And that's how I wear mine. Now, obviously I have a little bit of bangs and fringe cut into mine. And I have a lot of people who message me about wanting to style their topper just like I do in the front. You will definitely need a thin amount of bangs cut. Not heavy, thick bangs, but just thin. And then here's the topper after I've curled it. But then what I think is key for some people, again, is that front area right there. And that's where you're gonna wanna get, if yours doesn't already have bangs cut in, you might wanna get them cut in, but you don't want to go too heavy on the bang area and cut it too blunt. You want a just thin amount that tapers down like that. I hope this helps. The videos are a little bit challenging sometimes, but hopefully this will help some of you to curl your topper. If you brush through it, this is so hard to video and get on camera. This is why it's taking me so long to do a video. That's what you get. Just like that. And then again, on the ends, I would use just a very small amount of some kind of good oil. You rub it between your hands. Don't apply it directly after you've pumped it into your hand. And then just rake it through. Like that. And that's how I wear mine. Now, obviously I have a little bit of bangs and fringe cut into mine. And I have a lot of people who message me about wanting to style their topper just like I do in the front. You will definitely need a thin amount of bangs cut. Not heavy, thick bangs, but just thin. And then here's the topper after I've curled it. But then what I think is key for some people, again, is that front area right there. And that's where you're gonna wanna get, if yours doesn't already have bangs cut in, you might wanna get them cut in, but you don't want to go too heavy on the bang area and cut it too blunt. You want a just thin amount that tapers down like that. I hope this helps. The videos are a little bit challenging sometimes, but hopefully this will help some of you to curl your topper.